Yesterday we have completed with objectives of HRM. There were around 7 points to be done which we have covered. Today we will be starting with some specific, or we can say company specific objectives of HRM, because what happened when we see or when we find that any particular company is having very good HRM practices and policies and plans, then we make it as our idol and we discuss in our coming topic or in our current topic, which is objectives of HRM. So here same I have done. Today I have taken the objectives of Tata Group. Tata, one of the very famous company, popular company, having a very good turnover in crores. We will be able to know that what HRM practices are adopted by Tata company, so that other companies can also study, other companies can also go through the objectives of HRM at Tata and can implement the same. So let's start. First point says, Tata company shall provide equal opportunity to all its employees. Now, when we talk about equal opportunities, then what we are talking about? We are talking about that every employee will getting the same opportunity to perform or to function at an individual level or as an individual. It will not be, categorized that same person will be getting same task or same opportunity every time till when he will be working in that particular organization. So what Tata company has does, Tata company has provided equal opportunities to all the employees so that we can find out the best person or the best man who has performed very well. So this was the first objectives of Tata, that every employee should get the opportunities so that everyone can do its best and show its best, and we can select the best person who have performed that particular function very well. Second, HR policies shall promote diversity and equality in the workplace. Diversity and equality means that we are having employees from various backgrounds, they are belonging to various skills, they are belonging to various castes, they are belonging to various qualifications, their area of specializations are different. But what we have to do, we have to maintain diversity and equality at the same time. It doesn't matter that if I belong to some different specialization, then I should be categorized very different from other employees. No, it's not like that. What we have to do is we have to maintain that diversity in the form of equality. That diversity does not or should not bring any kind of, you can say, favorism, or it should not bring any kind of categorization among the employees so that it can lead to any kind of dissatisfaction. So to avoid such dissatisfaction among the employees, we have to maintain diversity with equality. We are having diversified skills, we are having diversified specializations, we are having diversified fields. Now, how these have to be maintained at same level or in coordination means diversity with equality. Then employees shall be treated with dignity. Dignity, yes, dignity, the most important aspect. Everyone wants to be treated in a dignified manner. If you are not treating your employee with its dignity, or you are playing or you are hurting the self-respect or dignity of any employee, then it can lead to worst consequences. So this thing has to be very much concerned from the part of the organization that an employee should not be hurted or his or her dignity should not be hurted. We should allot the work, we should take the work, but everything should be in a dignified manner. Next we come to maintain a work environment free of all forms of harassment. Harassment, nothing, no extra burden, or we can say no extra pressure or no mental pressure or no physical pressure should be created on the employee, because all of these can become part of harassment. And we are not here to harass our employees, because we are here to cater our employees with all those things which are required, which are needed. And if you are pressing your employee, you are pressurizing your employee either mentally or physically, then it can lead to harassment, and we don't have to do that. So this was the another objective of Tata Group, that employees should not be neither physically nor mentally harassed. We should have a good aura in our organization. We should have an ethical moral values should be implemented, because if you are not implementing your moral values and the things are not going ethically, which is right and what is wrong should be understood by the HR manager. We must know that whether we are dealing with our employees in an ethical manner or not. So if we will be following our ethical principles and moral values, then we will be not going for harassment. Respect for the right to privacy and right to be heard. The privacy of every person is its right. You cannot, touch, or you cannot break the privacy of any of the employees, because everyone needs some private time, everyone needs some personal time, and that private and personal time should not be disturbed by anyone in the organization. So to keep that thing, we must respect, or we must fully obey the privacy or personal time of the employees, and employees should be heard. If an employee is having any kind of problem, if an employee is facing any kind of problem in the organization and he is approaching his senior management, he is approaching his top level authorities, so he or she should be heard. His problem should be heard, and proper solution should be given to him, that where the problem lies and what can be the solution. Next we come to equal opportunities to all eligible. All eligible here means that every employee is same in the eyes of top level authorities, or we can say top management. If I say that employees should be favored, or we should be biased while taking the decisions regarding promotions, regarding transfers, regarding salary increment, no, this should not be there, because every employee, if having skill or quality, then he is eligible with all the employee force. You cannot separate any single person or any of the employee among others. You have to take them together so that we can have a good workforce or employee force. Then decisions are based on merit. Here merit means to say that the performance, how your employees are performing, because at the end of the day what we have to do is we have to give promotions, we have to give salary increment, and those depend upon your performance, how you performed. Your yearly performance are calculated. We have different mechanisms for calculating performance, or we can say we are having different techniques of performance appraisal. Whatsoever technique we are adopting to check the performance appraisal of the employees should be clearly mentioned, and the person in front or the employee must know about that. Because if the employees are not knowing about your performance appraisal techniques, then it can happen that he or she must not perform or work accordingly. So employees should be promoted, salaries should be increased on the basis of merit, or we can say on the basis of performance appraisal. So these were the objectives which were specified by Tata Group, and these are the main important core objectives which should be fulfilled by an HRM team. If you are having a good human resource management team in your organization, then the team must know about these objectives, because these are the core objectives which are necessary of an employee, which an employee need. He says that his rights should be given to him. He says that he should be evaluated on the basis of proper performance appraisal techniques. He says that his privacy should be maintained. He says that he should not be, categorized, or he should not be, differentiated on the basis of skills and qualifications. Because if he possesses those skills or qualifications, then he must be promoted and he must be taken into the same flow with other employees. So these are the basic objectives which are followed by Tata Group. Coming to the next, now we come to scope of HRM. Scope of HRM means that where HRM applies. Because when I talk about scope, then I am talking about the complete field where HRM is implemented or HRM is applied. Now what I have done, I have categorized the scope into various categories and we'll be studying them one by one. So the first category says personal or labor aspect. When I talk about personnel or labor aspect, then I'm totally talking about the aspect which is directly connected with the employees. Although in this I'll be covering all those aspects, or the content will be all those topics or points which are directly related with the employee and which are in the benefit of the employee, which are for the employee, which are only and only for the employee, made by the organization. So the first point is planning, recruiting, selection, placement, transfer, promotion, training and development, layoffs, retrenchment, remuneration, incentives and productivity. So all those points which I have spoken right now, these are the basic points which make core of human resource, which are directly related with the employees, and the employees also want all these points in a justified manner. We have to justify, because if I talk about planning, then if I am not planned properly, I can have either overstock of employees or understock of employees. So my planning should be such a strong planning, it should be such a foolproof planning that at any time I should not have either understock of employees or overstock of employees. And if we are facing any problem regarding the employees, then that problem should be sought out at that very moment. We should not wait to waste the time, or we should not waste the time. We should take over the problem, we should study the problem, and at the same time solution should be provided. Second is recruiting. When I talk about recruiting, recruiting is simply a process when I am making this thing public that we are having vacancies and what are the eligibility or qualifications for applying. It's just, we can say, advertisement. An advertisement given either in the newspaper or at factory gate or through any media we are opting, that it is to make the people know about our vacancies and what are the eligibility criteria required for applying for the following. Then we come to next selection. Now selection means when many people have applied, you have to shortlist some of them, and out of those shortlisted candidate you have to select the best one for placing in the organization. Suppose 100 people have applied, out of those you have selected 20 people, and out of those we require only 5 people. So recruiting and selection are interconnected. Recruiting means making the people aware that we are having the vacancies, what are the eligibility criteria required, and selection means that to select the best personnel out of all who have applied. Then placement, now to place them at the right person at right place. This is the most important function of HR manager. If you are not placing right person at right place, then it is useless to appoint the people. It is useless to select the people on the basis of specialization. What does specialization means? Specialization means selection on the basis of those specific eligibilities which we require. And when you have selected on the basis of those eligibilities, then now next step is to place that particular person on that particular place only for which he or she has been appointed. So placement means placing right person at right place. Then we come to transfer. If we want any kind of transfer, it can be for promotions, it can be for demotions, it can be for other branches also, it can be for other departments also. Then it is also a part of HRM, and this is a scope of HRM, that HRM has to transfer or promote the persons according to that. Next we come to training and development. Training and development means that updating your employees as the time changes. The present scenario says that you have to upgrade or you have to update your employees as per the new novel technologies and techniques. Because if you are not updating, you are not upgrading your employees as per the novel techniques, then it can lead to other problems also. It can lead to demotions, it can lead to we can say that the organization will not be able to perform very well. Why? Because you are not dealing with new technologies. And right now the time is such, we are having such a dynamic working style that we have to adapt to new technologies and new techniques as per the requirement, as per the need. So to go or cope up or to move with these, first what you have to do is you have to train and develop your employees, so that if your employees are trained and developed as per the new technologies, then your organization will also be moving very fast. Next we come to layoffs. Layoffs means why the people are leaving. Layoffs, it is a matter of great concern for the organization. If in an organization people are leaving on a continuous basis, it means that there must be some problem with the organization. There must be something that is making the people to leave the organization and to search for some new job. Then in such conditions, it is the duty of HRM that he has to find out where the problem lies. What is the root cause? Why the employees are laying off? Why they are leaving the organization? And such problem should be find out and sorted out as soon as possible. So that we does not have good employees leaving the organization. So if HRM finds such problem existing, then such problem should be studied, analyzed, and a proper solution should be given that this was the problem and this is the solution for the same. The employees were leaving due to this problem. Now this problem has been resolved. So employees will be stucking and they will be not leaving the organization. Then we have retrenchment. Retrenchment, yes, sometimes organization has to go for retrenchment. Retrenchment means that, terminating some of the employees due to any specific reason or problem. It can be sometimes, financial losses. It can be sometimes market losses. It can be sometimes problem with raw material, or it can be sometimes problem with production. But before going for retrenchment, what we have to think is we have to study that whether retrenchment is compulsory or we can compensate them with something else. This can also be done, because sometimes what happens, we find it very easy to retrench the employees, but we does not see the second end of the second face of the coin, that this can lead some of the employees in a great trouble. How that can be managed? So to avoid such thing, what we have to do, we have to study very well that is retrenchment necessary or compulsory, then only we have to go for that. Otherwise, we should try to manage if we can. Next, we come to remuneration. Remuneration means salary. Now, to justify the salary or to give increments to the employees, what we have to do is we have to plan something, or we should have policies properly designed and made for salary increment, for remuneration. When a person is joining us as a fresher, all the terms related to salary and remuneration should be clarified. He or she must be knowing that how much he or she will be paid, what would be the incentives, what extra will be paid to him, and how we go for salary increment, whether it can be through performance appraisal or it can be any other measure we can apply. So remuneration means that basically we should try to go for fair remuneration, be such that it should be justifying your work and your eligibility, your qualification, your role and responsibilities in job, and your performance should also be connected. It should not be like that if you are underperforming, then also you are getting good remuneration or salary increment, and if you are overperforming, then you are not able to get good salary. No, it should not be like that. The policies regarding remuneration and salary should be very fair. Next, we come to incentives and productivity. If we want to provide any extra financial incentive to the employees, it is a very great, source of motivation or inspiration. If we want our employees should be motivated and he should be full of confidence and motivation so that he can give his best out of his performance, then incentives should be considered. And we can see that if we are providing good incentives, either we can give in the form of financial form or we can give non-financial form. Both will work and our productivity will also increase. HRM must also be concerned regarding productivity, because if the production percentage of organization is falling, then it means that there is some problem lying. Something basic we are, having, which is leading to low productivity, and we should avoid that. We should avoid that. If we find that productivity is falling or the percentage of production is falling, then HR should be in an alert mode, and he or she must study that where the problem lies. Why productivity is falling, why we are not able to maintain the same percentage of production as we were having earlier. So we have to find out what is the root cause for that particular thing. Then if I talk scope of HRM in the next aspect, it is welfare aspect. Welfare aspect here means that other than what you are providing related to job, salary, it's related to job, incentives, it's related to performance, but what you are providing in the form of non-financial incentives, we can say, or we can say what you are providing for the welfare of the employees, because every employee wants that he or she must get something extra which should lead or we should contribute to the welfare of the employee. So next point covers the points which are leading to welfare of the society. Housing. If you are providing housing facilities to the employees, very good, because this can also add on to the motivation of the employees. Then transport. Transport can be said as conveyance, or we can say conveyance facility from home to factory, or and from factory to home. In such manner also the employees get motivated because they found that their owner or their employer is so much concerned about the employees that he is providing transport facilities. Medical assistance we can say medical insurance, or we can say group insurance, because in the present era we are facing so much problem regarding medical, we are having diseases and all. So if such problem is covered by the company, then it becomes a really a great support for the employee, and the employee also feel that he is safe and secured, his family is also safe and secured. In case of any medical exigency or medical emergency, he will be assisted by the company. Because what happens during medical exigencies or emergencies, we have both physical and financial pressure. The person is feeling low, or he is having at loss physically and at the same time financially also. But if at this time employer or the organization is having any such policy which is covering medical insurance or the medical expenses of the employees, then it becomes a really great support for the employee. And we must say that employer should plan or should have any such facilities. Then canteen, for tea and coffee, we can have canteen for the employees, so that during their lunch hours, or if they feel like that they are feeling lethargic, they are feeling low, their energy is falling down, they want something, tea or coffee, so that they can go there and have. Because sometimes it happens that we feel low and we want something great the drink, or we want the energy provider like that. So it can help us if we are having canteen in an organization. Then restrooms can also help out during lunch hours. Sometimes we are having small problems like headache, stomach ache. So if the employer is providing such facility of restroom, then employee can go there for some time. Because if you are having any kind of uncomfort in your body and you are not feeling comfortable, then you are not able to give best what you can give. You will be disturbed, you will be feeling uncomfortable, you will not able to perform with such enthusiasm, you will not able to perform to give the same output which you were giving earlier. So for this also restrooms are required. Then health and safety, education. Health and safety means the health and safety of the employee should be considered, and it should be a matter of great concern. With the same thing, education of children of employees can also be considered. We can provide tuition fee support in tuition fee. We can provide support in the other higher education of the employees' children, because at that time we need a good financial amount. So if such things are provided from the employer part, then it makes a great sense of belongingness in the employees. And employees are also enthusiastic, and they are also having a sense of belongingness. These things they do, they does nothing. They only make attachment of the employee with the organization. They provide a type of, you can say, sense of belongingness. Employees also want to work for the organization because he or she knows that I am getting so much out of my organization, then why should not I give my maximum to the organization? So this is also an important point. Now, if I talk about scope of HRM in industrial relation aspect, then the first point says union management relations. Every organization have workers or employees union. Yeah, it can be there. It's not wrong, or we can say that it's not good for the health of the organization. No, it's okay if we are having any such management relations. Then if you are having union in the organization, then your relation with the employer should be cordial. They must be such that if union is facing any problem, they can go directly and approach the owners or the top authorities and can keep their words, what they want, where the problem lies, because union is made only with the purpose or objective that the things should move from employee part to the employer, nothing else. Union doesn't mean that we should have any kind of fights, or we should have lockouts. No, it's not like that. Union, the purpose of designing or making a union is that the things from employee part can be shared with the employer. So union relation management with the employer should be such that they should be smooth and cordial, and one can keep his words with the management. Then we have collective bargaining. Collective bargaining means that when we have to make some decision, or when we have to take some decision, both the parts sit at the end, they discuss the thing, they discuss the matter, and the best solution for either from employee's point of view or from employer point of view is selected, and it is implemented. Collective bargaining, both the parties sit together, they talk together regarding any problem, and the best solution will be taken or implemented. Grievance and disciplinary action. It can happen that employees can have grievance. Grievance can be regarding working environment. Grievance can be sometime regarding timings of the organization. Grievance can be something sometimes regarding to the disciplinary action in the organization. Now such grievance can be handled if we are having a good union management in the organization. Then the grievances coming from within the employees can be solved very easily. But if you are not having any such party or any such union, then it becomes very tough that resolving the grievances, and grievances further lead to dissatisfaction. If any problem with the employees is left unsolved, it is left unheard, then it leads to great dissatisfaction, and this should not be there. That should not be exist with the employees, because if we want maximum output from the employees, then its grievances or complaints should be heard and sorted out. Settlement of disputes, if any kind of disputes exist between employer and employees, or between lower or middle managers, then such disputes should be settled out, because settling the disputes is basically making your relations with your employees strong. If you are settling the disputes, then it means that your relations with your employees are becoming more stronger, and from both point of view, whether from employer or from employees, if sometimes employees are having any kind of disputes, if sometimes employers are having any kind of disputes, then they both will be able to keep their words. Because if you are not having such smooth relations, then it would be a problem for both. Here I am talking about both employer and employee. But if you are having such a smooth relation, then in that case disputes can be settled very easily, and one can be able to keep his message, keep his complaint in front of another one, and the things can be cordially mutually settled by both of them, and dispute should not exist.